Lexus RX Review. Those looking for a luxury SUV are well catered for with the latest generations of the Audi Q7 and the Volvo XC90 both bringing fresh offerings to the market and competing with the Range Rover Sport for dominance in that sector. The new Q7 and XC90 also made available for the first time modules and hybrid powertrain, a path well trodden by Lexus. As not to get left behind, Lexus has refreshed its RX, and here we have the fourth generation SUV, available with two engine options: the 3.5-liter V6 petrol hybrid, also known as the RX 450h, new to the lineup a turbocharged 2.0-liter petrol engine, the RX 200T. There are also 5 trims to choose from. The entry-level S trim is only available with petrol RXs, while the SE and Premier specs can only be had with the hybrid versions. The RX 200T S trim is certainly well equipped and includes 18-inch alloy wheels, adaptive cruise control, heated and electrically adjustable front seats, sat-nav, reversing camera, DAB and Bluetooth connectivity all as standard. Opt for the hybrid RX 450h SE model, and you will get a leather upholstery, dual-zone climate control, ventilated front seats and an electrically adjustable steering wheel added to the package. Luxury-trimmed RX models gets Lexus's premium navigation system, a wireless smartphone charger, keyless interior and 20-in alloys, while the F Sport spec includes a number of sporty touches, such as lightened alloy wheels, adaptive suspension, a body kit and sports seats. The range-topping Premier models get 20-in alloy wheels, blind spot monitoring, autonomous emergency braking, 360-degree camera, head-up display and a 15-speaker Mark Levinson speaker system. Of the two powertrains on offer, many will be tempted by the low CO2 figures of the RX 450h, and the savings they bring to those burdened with benefit-in-kind taxation. However, with the hybrid model costing in excess of £48,000, there is a cheaper way of getting behind the wheel of Lexus's upmarket SUV. Step forward: the RX 200T. Gone is the 3.5-liter V6 is fitted to the RX 450h, here replaced by a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-pot as seen in the smaller NX 200T, IS 200T Saloon and RC 200T Coupe. If you can do without four-wheel drive, you'll save yourself £7,000 over an entry-level RX 450h. Considering that it already undercuts rivals and offers generous levels of standard kit, it seems like a good value for this kind of vehicle. No matter how many wheels get driven, the 200 tons makes 235 bhp and 258 pounds-foot. They may not sound like bad figures, but then the RX weighs nearly 2 tons. That means the all-wheel drive model we're testing takes a yawning 9.5 seconds to reach 62 miles per hour. If you're traveling at a sedate pace, the RX 200T has plenty going for it. At low engine speeds, the petrol engine remains smooth and refined, and there are none of the nasty vibrations some diesel-powered rivals suffer from coming through the wheel or pedals. However, if you've bought a car that looks like this, it's unlikely you're planning on driving everywhere at a sedate pace. Heavy application of the right pedal will see the gearbox drop 2 or 3 cogs, even in eco mode, to get it moving with a reasonable turn of speed. At this point, the engine will start to make its presence known. It wouldn't be the worst soundtrack for a hot hatchback, but the sound of a petrol 4-pot seems a little out of place in a luxury SUV. Performance is adequate, but there's none of the effortlessness that you get from an Audi Q7 or Range Rover Sport, although you wouldn't really expect there to be given the engine's 2.0-liter capacity. Flicking through the drive modes to Sport or Sport Plus does make it feel a little sprightlier, but that's mainly down to it holding on to gears for longer. Those that want more involvement might be tempted to take control of the gearbox using the wheel-mounted paddles. These turned out to be a source of frustration, the box unwilling to change up or down unless it deemed a shift appropriate, and then changing gear for you as you approach the red line. Shifts were at least smooth and fairly swift. Even with the F Sport's 20-in wheels, the ride is comfortable in all drive modes. You do feel bigger bumps and expansion joints, but at no point do they upset the car's balance. The downside is more body roll than you'd get in some competitors, even in Sport Plus mode. If you were hoping the significant reduction in curb weight compared to the RX 450h has made it a more involving steer, you'll be disappointed. The steering may be well weighted and precise, but it never really tells you what the front wheels are doing. At least you'll have a fair idea after a couple of roundabouts. If you push the RX hard, the front wheels will always run wide well before the rear end loses grip. A lift of the throttle brings everything back in line, but even a sharp lift mid-corner won't unsettle it. It's safe but completely uninspiring. It's also thirsty, really thirsty. On a mixed test route we couldn't get better than 25 miles per gallon despite driving sensibly for much of the time. It's therefore no surprise to find that CO2 emissions are a little high at 189 grams/km. As for the rest of the package, you still get a fantastically well-built cabin. Switches, stalks and other controls feel slick, and it's unlikely you'll interact with any hard plastic unless you go actively looking for it. Instruments are clear, but the joystick-controlled infotainment system can frustrate. Front seat occupants will have no complaints with regards to space and storage, while rear seat passengers are just as spoiled. The rear bench can be slid back for more legroom and also reclined. The boot isn't the biggest, but it's by no means bad. There are many reasons to like the Lexus RX. It's comfortable, has a high-quality interior and looks distinctive from the outside too. The turbocharged petrol may be cheaper to buy than the hybrid, but real-world economy will be far worse and taxation far higher. It's also a fair bit slower, meaning F-Sport trim is all mouth and no trousers. If you fancy an RX, we'd be tempted to pay an extra £1,000 for a hybrid-powered luxury model. It may not look quite as sporty, but will feel just as luxurious and cost far less to run.